Hi there, and a Happy New Year to you from the USBGF. This is Phil Simbark, USBGF Teaching Pro, with a very basic cube situation and problem and racing theory situation. You are red, you are on roll, and you are trying to decide whether or not you should double or not. Or maybe you're blue, and you're trying to decide if you should take in case red doubles. So the first thing I would ask you is, how do you go about solving this problem? Well, the way we teach at the Backgammon Learning Center to solve this problem is to first know what your take point is, and the score is 11 away, or 0-0 to 11, and we know that's pretty much the same as a money game or unlimited game. The dead cube take point is about 25%. That's your break even. But as we all know, there's an advantage in holding the cube, what we call cube vig. So you can take the cube for something less than 25% when you're holding the cube, because you have the power of holding the cube. If red doubles and blue takes this cube, in order for red to win the game, he's got to get all of his checkers off first. But in order for blue to win the game, all he has to do is get to a significant lead and redouble. So let's pretend that blue gets to a point where he's, let's say, got 80% winning chances holding the cube. He redoubles, red must drop, and now blue wins a game that if he had not been holding the cube, he would still lose 20% of the time. Conversely, after red gives the cube, let's say he gets to 80%. Well, he can't end the game anymore, so he's going to lose the game that extra 20% of the time. So there's real power in holding the cube. By the way, blue also has the power in turning the cube when red might still have a take, but he's going to win 4 points most of the time. So that adds value as well. We have figured out over the years that that value is worth about 3.5 points in a money game or unlimited scores that are similar to money. So the take point averages out to about 21.5%. So that's the take point for blue here. That's half the battle. We now know that blue has a take point of around 21.5%. It's going to vary. His take point gets higher as we get closer to the end of the game, and he has less chance to roll big numbers and catch up. And the take point goes down even lower and could go as low as 20%, and there's even a position where it could be as low as 18.75%, but that's rare. It's only a special case. So let's say that it could go as low as 20, but 21.5 is pretty much what we should be using. Well, do you think if red were to double, do you think blue has a take or drop? The first thing we do is use Woolsey's law. Ask ourselves, would blue take or drop? Does he have 21.5%? How would you go about calculating something like this? Well, in these kinds of positions, I use the Keith count. And just to show you what the Keith count is, real quickly, I'm not going to try and teach you everything in one lesson, but basically the Keith count looks at the pip count and assigns penalties or for wastage. Too many checkers on the ace point, 2 penalties for everyone more than 1 on the ace point. Too many checkers on the 2 point, 1 penalty for everyone more than 1 on the 2 point. Penalties on the 3 point, 1 penalty for everyone more than 3 on the 3 point, and a penalty for the open 4, 5, or 6 point. That creates wastage. So the first thing you do with the Keith count is you adjust for wastage, and in this case you take the raw pip count of 62, and red's got penalties of 3, 2 for the extra checker on the ace point, 1 for the extra checker on the deuce point, bringing him to 64. And now we add 1/7. This is the Keith count. I asked Tom Keith, why do I add 1/7? And Tom answered very wisely, because it works. It gets you the right answer. So if you take 64 and you divide it by 7, that's 9, and we round down so we don't worry about that it's not quite 9. 65 and 9 is 74. So that's red's adjusted Keith count. Blue has a wastage also of 3. 2 and 1 is 3. We added to his 69 gives him 72. The pip counts is 72 to 74. In a money game or unlimited game, red should double if he's within 4. Well, he's within 2, so he clearly has a double. And blue has a bare take if his opponent is over by 2, which is the case here. What does a bare take mean? Well, as we said, If the take point is 21.5, a bear take must be something around 21.5, 22. So we would estimate blue to have about 22% here. Therefore, he would have a take. Should red double? Absolutely. Blue is absolutely, positively right on the edge of whether he should take or drop. You might even get a wrong drop here. So you should double in these cases. And of course, Keith Count tells us to double if you're 4 or less. Another reason to double in theory is because you're going to lose your market way too much. Way too often. All you have to do is just roll a tiny little bit better than your opponent. In fact, at this point, you might even be able to lose your market if you roll the same. If you roll a 7 and he rolls a 7, he's probably not taking. It probably drops to under. So this is a double and a take. Let's see what Extreme Gammon says. Extreme Gammon does not use the Keith count. It doesn't use any formulas. All it does is use raw roll power. Wow. We estimated around 21.5 to 22%. And look, it's 21.84. You can't get much closer than this as a .001 take. What a fabulous formula. What a fabulous system. How great it is to know your take points and to get these right. Even if I had gotten this wrong, I wouldn't have been wrong by very much. And I'm sure lots of people might not double this who think it's not a double, and lots of people might drop this because they think it's a drop. Am I a genius? Absolutely not. I've just been paying attention to my own lessons. I teach this every day. It's second nature to me. It's second nature to my students. And it will be second nature to you if you study both the Keith count. And by the way, just a little bit more, fewer pips, I would probably go to EPC instead of Keith count, effective pip counting. And if you haven't noticed, you can learn EPC for $15 in a video that John O'Hagan and I have put together. 50-minute video with 10 sample problems to teach EPC, and there's information on the USBGF Facebook site where to buy it. Why is it on the USBGF Facebook site? Because we're donating $1 out of the $15 to the USBGF for every one we sell. And we're endorsed by the USBGF, and they like our video and think it's a good service to humanity. So, as another good service to humanity, I wish you a very happy New Year. I hope this was enlightening for you. I know most open players know all of this stuff. If you're not an open player, now you know what we know. You know that there are some tricks, there are some methods, there are some very good ways to improve your game with some study that will make you incredibly accurate within .001. Have a happy holiday, Phil Simborg for the USBGF. Bye-bye.